There's one place in your home where you expect to be completely alone. The bathroom, a quiet moment, a private space. But if you have a cat, you already know. You're never truly alone because the moment you walk in, your cat follows, sits outside the door, scratches to get in, or walks in like it owns the place. At first it feels funny, maybe even a little strange. But here's the truth. This behavior is not random. Your cat is not just being curious. It's trying to tell you something. And once you understand what it means, you'll never look at this moment the same way again. For humans, a closed door is normal. It means privacy, a boundary, a simple part of daily life. But for your cat, a closed door means something completely different. It means loss of access. And for a cat, access is everything. What cats are not just curious animals. They are control-oriented animals. They feel safe when they can move freely, observe everything, and understand what's happening around them. Their confidence comes from knowing their environment. So when you suddenly close a door, you break that sense of control. From your cat's perspective, something important just changed. A space that was always open is now blocked. A path it could walk through is now gone. A part of its territory is now inaccessible. And that creates immediate curiosity, but also slight tension. Your cat doesn't think they want privacy. It thinks, why can't I go there anymore? What is happening inside? Why am I being excluded? This is why you'll often see your cat react instantly. It follows you to the door, sits outside, scratches, pushes, or meows. And not because it wants to annoy you, but because it wants the door to return to its normal state. Open, predictable, accessible. There is also something deeper behind this behavior. Cats build mental maps of their environment. They memorize every path, every corner, every routine movement, and when something interrupts that map, they notice immediately. A closed door is not just a barrier, it's a disruption. It breaks the flow of their known world. So your cat tries to fix that disruption by staying close to the source of it. You, because you are the one who closed the door. And in your cat's mind, you are also the one who can open it again. So it waits, watches, stays nearby. Another important detail is anticipation. Cats quickly learn patterns. If the bathroom door sometimes opens, if you sometimes let them in, they begin to expect that possibility every time. So now the behavior becomes stronger. Your cat is not just reacting, it is waiting for the outcome it has experienced before. If I stay here, the door might open. And many times, it does, which reinforces the behavior even more. This is why even if your cat has no interest in the bathroom itself, it still wants access. Because for a cat, it's not about the room, it's about freedom of movement, the ability to choose where to go. Closed doors remove that choice, and cats don't like losing choice. There's also a subtle emotional layer here. When your cat is separated from you by a door, it loses visual contact. It can't see you, can't track your movement, can't read your behavior. And that creates uncertainty, even if it's small, even if it's temporary. So your cat tries to stay close to reduce that uncertainty, to maintain connection, to keep its environment predictable. This is why the bathroom becomes such a common place for this behavior, because it's one of the few times you consistently close a door. And every time you do, your cat faces the same situation: blocked access, unknown activity, temporary separation. So it responds the same way. It follows, waits, pushes for entry, not out of randomness, but out of instinct, out of pattern, out of its natural need to keep its world open and understandable. So the next time your cat follows you to the bathroom and reacts to that closed door, remember this: it's not just being curious, it's responding to a break in its environment. A small disruption in the world it carefully understands. And in that moment, all it wants is one simple thing: for everything to feel normal again. At first, this idea might sound strange. Your cat, protecting you, it doesn't guard the house like a dog. It doesn't bark at strangers. It doesn't stand at the door like a watchful guard. So how could this behavior be protection? The answer lies in understanding how cats see vulnerability. In the wild, cats are both predators and prey. This means they are always aware of moments when they are strong and moments when they are exposed. And one of the most vulnerable states for any animal is when it is distracted still or unable to react quickly. Now think about what happens when you go into the bathroom. You close the door, you sit down, you become still. When your attention shifts away from your surroundings. From your cat's perspective, this is a moment of reduced awareness, a moment where you are not fully alert, and even though your cat lives in a safe home, its instincts don't disappear. They stay active, quietly running in the background. So when your cat follows you into the bathroom, it may not be thinking in human terms like, I need to protect them, but its instincts are saying something similar to, stay near, observe, be aware of what's happening. This is why many cats don't just follow you. They watch you. They sit in a corner, or near the door, or somewhere with a clear view of the room. Their body language is calm, but alert, eyes open, ears moving, tracking small sounds. They are not relaxed the way they are when sleeping. They are present, aware. And that awareness is a form of quiet guarding. Another important detail is positioning. Cats often place themselves in strategic spots, near entrances, near exits, or in places where they can see everything. This is not random, it's instinctive behavior. Even inside your home, your cat chooses positions that give it control over the space. So when you are in the bathroom, your cat may sit near the door, almost like it's monitoring the only entry point. Not in a dramatic way, but in a subtle, instinct-driven way. There is also a strong element of bonding in this behavior. In social animal groups, individuals often stay close to each other during vulnerable moments, not because of fear, but because proximity increases safety, and your cat has included you in its social circle, which means your vulnerability becomes something it responds to, even if it doesn't fully understand why. This is especially noticeable in cats that have a strong emotional bond with their owner. They don't just follow you randomly throughout the day. They follow you during specific moments, quiet moments, still moments, moments where your behavior changes. And the bathroom is one of the most consistent examples of that. You enter, you close the door, you sit, you stay still. From your cat's perspective, everything about that moment stands out, so it stays close. Not out of fear, but out of instinctive awareness. Another detail many people overlook is how cats respond to sound. Bathrooms create unique sounds. Water running, echoes, movements that are slightly different from the rest of the house. These sounds draw your cat's attention, and once it is there, it stays, observes, listens. Because in its mind, something is happening that needs to be monitored. There's also a quiet emotional layer behind all of this. Your cat feels connected to you, and when it senses a shift in your state, even something small, it responds by staying close. Not because it thinks you are in danger in a human sense, but because its instincts tell it to remain present, to not leave you alone in that moment. This behavior is not loud, not obvious, not dramatic, but it is meaningful. It shows awareness. It shows connection. It shows that your cat does not simply ignore your presence. It tracks it, responds to it, stays with it. So the next time your cat follows you into the bathroom and sits quietly nearby, look closely. And it's not just waiting. It's not just being curious. It is present, alert in its own quiet way. Staying close during a moment where, in its instinctive world, you are slightly more vulnerable, and in that small, silent action, there is a form of protection, not loud, not obvious, but real in the way your cat understands the world. There is something very simple, yet very powerful behind this behavior. Your cat wants your attention, but not in a loud or obvious way. Cats don't always demand attention like other animals. They don't always make noise. They don't always jump around. Instead, they wait for the right moment. And the bathroom is one of the most perfect moments your cat can find. Think about your normal day. You're busy, moving around, using your phone, working, doing different things, while your attention is constantly shifting. And for your cat, that means limited access to you. It may try to sit near you, but you're distracted. It may look at you, but you don't notice. It may want interaction, but the moment never feels right until suddenly you go to the bathroom and everything changes. You stop moving. You stay in one place. You're not walking away. You're not fully distracted. From your cat's perspective, you become available, fully available. And that's a rare opportunity, so your cat follows you. Not because it cares about the bathroom, but because it cares about you in that moment. Now here's where it becomes even more interesting. Your behavior inside the bathroom reinforces this pattern. When your cat follows you, what do? You look at it, you talk to it, you may pet it, what you acknowledge it. Even if it's just a small reaction, it's enough. Because cats learn through association. Your cat begins to connect two things. Bathroom equals attention. So the next time you walk toward that space, your cat already knows. This is my moment. And it follows again. This is not random behavior. It's learned behavior, built through repetition, strengthened over time. Another important detail is how focused your attention becomes in that space. In other parts of your home, you may only give your cat partial attention, a quick glance, a short interaction. But in the bathroom, your attention becomes more direct. You look at your cat longer, you respond more consistently, and your cat feels that difference. Cats are extremely sensitive to attention patterns. They notice when you are truly present and when you are not. So when they find a moment where your attention is more stable, they return to it again and again. There is also an emotional layer behind this behavior. Your cat is not just seeking attention, it is seeking connection. A moment where interaction feels simple, calm, undistracted. And the bathroom, oddly enough, creates that environment. It removes noise, removes movement, removes competition for your focus. So your cat steps in, not aggressively, not loudly, but quietly. It may sit beside you, look at you, or gently move closer. And in that moment, it creates a small connection. Just you and your cat. Another detail many people miss is timing. Cats often follow you to the bathroom during specific parts of the day, when they are more active, more alert, more social. And during those times, they are more likely to seek interaction. So when your path leads to the bathroom, their instinct aligns with opportunity, and they take it. There's also something subtle happening with routine. Cats love predictable patterns. If you go to the bathroom at similar times every day, your cat begins to anticipate it, not consciously, but through repetition. And once that routine is established, following you becomes part of it. A built-in moment of interaction, a small, repeated event that your cat comes to expect. So when your cat follows you into the bathroom, it's not just being curious, it's not just reacting to the door. It's taking advantage of a moment where you are most available, most still, most present. And in that quiet moment, your cat is simply saying, "This is my time with you." And once you notice that, the behavior feels completely different, not strange, not random, but intentional. A small, quiet request for connection in the simplest moment of your day. At the core of your cat's personality, there is one powerful instinct that drives a lot of its behavior: curiosity. Cats are natural explorers. They don't just live in their environment, they constantly investigate it. Every sound, every movement, every small change. Your cat wants to know what's happening, and more importantly, why it's happening. Now think about the bathroom. From your perspective, it's just another room. But from your cat's perspective, it's one of the most unusual places in your home. Different sounds, different smells, different actions. Water suddenly starts running. Echoes bounce off the walls. Objects move in unfamiliar ways. And your behavior changes too. You enter. You close the door. You stay inside for a while. To your cat, this stands out. It breaks the normal pattern of your day. And anything that breaks routine immediately grabs your cat's attention. So it follows you, not just because of you, but because something interesting is happening. Your cat is trying to understand the situation. What is this place? Why does water appear and disappear? Why does my human stay here and not move much? These questions are not formed in words, but in instinct. Your cat observes, watches closely, processes everything. This is why many cats don't just enter the bathroom. They explore it. They look around, sniff objects, watch the sink, sit and observe. They are collecting information, learning, understanding. Another important detail is novelty. Cats are especially drawn to things that are slightly different from the rest of their environment. The bathroom often feels different. Cooler surfaces, echoing acoustics, reflective mirrors, running water. All of these elements make it more interesting than other rooms. So when you go there, your cat sees an opportunity, not just to follow you, but to explore a space that stimulates its senses. There is also a strong connection between curiosity and routine. At first, your cat may follow you out of pure curiosity, but over time, that curiosity becomes a habit, because every time it follows you, it experiences something, a sound, a movement, an interaction. And those small experiences keep reinforcing the behavior. So now, even if nothing new is happening, your cat still follows, because it expects something to happen, something interesting, something worth observing. Another subtle factor is movement. Cats are naturally attracted to motion. And when you move toward the bathroom, you create a directional cue. Your cat sees you going somewhere specific, somewhere you don't always go frequently. And that movement triggers its curiosity, so it follows, not out of need, but out of instinct, to see where you're going, to understand what you're doing, to stay connected to the action. There is also something important about how your cat learns your behavior. Over time, your cat begins to associate your movements with outcomes. Walking to the kitchen means food, where sitting on the couch means rest. Going to the bathroom means something different, something less predictable. And unpredictability increases curiosity because your cat cannot fully predict what will happen next. So it chooses to observe, to stay close, to gather information in real time. This is how cats interact with the world, not by ignoring it, but by studying it, quietly, carefully, constantly. So when your cat follows you to the bathroom, it's not just being strange. It's not just being playful. It's doing what cats do best: exploring, observing, understanding. And in that moment, you become part of the mystery it's trying to solve, a moving piece of its environment, doing something interesting in a place that never stops being fascinating, and your cat simply doesn't want to miss it.